We're back with another episode of Sports Addict
We
with your
back.
boy Rock Guy. We're back, your boy Rock Guy and Trey. And last night we had the opportunity, the great time to watch the NBA draft, which is always
Nico!
Nico.
Nico!
Always a fun night for a sports fan. So we went into the draft not having a pick, but we said, hey, we're still gonna check it out and the outside chance that we make some moves to get in there and get active. And that's exactly what happened. But before we get into the draft, I wanted to ask you something, Trey, because it's always kind of something interesting. Most of these young men are like 19 to 21. Sometimes you get a senior in there that's 22, but typically it's like 19, 20, 21 years old. And the fashion is always a thing. And so it's interesting seeing year after year how the fashion changes. One thing I noticed, I saw very few ties and a whole lot of chains. You know what I mean? And loud and vibrant suit colors. And we're coming from a standpoint of being 34 years old. So we've kind of calmed down. Probably would have ours just like tailored, a nice solid color, just a nice dope suit. But hey, I ain't gonna hate on the young fellas for their choice. So Trey, at 19 years old, put yourself in the mind of a 19-year-old Trey. What you think you dripping if you were in the NBA draft?
Okay, so I studied the suits, right?
Okay.
And you are right. They substituted the ties,
Yeah,
the bow ties, for the chain, piece and
for the
chain.
chain.
Cuban
Uh-huh.
link. Big
Yeah.
boy. Big
Yeah.
boy. I gotta say, I did not like Paulo Blanchero's suit. I didn't like that purple with like the little sparkly things
The
all
little
over.
sparkle. Do you think those were real diamonds on the chain?
I mean,
I
the
mean,
dude,
sorry, on the suit.
I mean, he's a number one pick. I'm sure they're real.
If they were
And
real, I'm sorry.
if
That's
they aren't
crazy.
real, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt because he's number one overall pick. But that
Okay.
leads me to my next thing. My next question to you is like, where do these kids get the money for the stuff that they buy?
The agent fronts them. They know they're good for it. Yeah, the agent fronts them, and then maybe they gift it. I'm sure maybe sometimes they'd be like, to sign you, how about I give you this, I don't know, $100,000 presidential rollie,
Okay.
and that's my omen to you, with our relationship for you to sign to me. But who knows? But I know the agents front them typically.
All the money these dudes about to make these agents, you better give me more than a presidential rollie.
Hey, maybe they do. Maybe they give
Nah.
it all to them for free. Maybe it's a gift, But the agents front them before they get this because the check's about to start rolling in.
Nah, but back to your original question though about the drip and what everybody's wearing. I don't like. I like it. I like it. I like
Yeah,
what they're wearing.
yeah.
I think if we had to rate the whole draft class, I give them an 8, solid 8.5. They look
Okay.
nice, man. Those dudes look good. But being 34 years old, I'm looking at the outfits that these kids are wearing, and I think if I had to choose a number one suit or something that's similar to what I would wear, I go with Blake Wesley. He was drafted to the
Okay.
San Antonio Spurs. He went with the
I'm gonna have to check that out.
smooth black
Okay.
tux at the
Yeah.
top,
Can never go wrong with that.
bow tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, cropped his
Smooth.
pants though. Cropped them.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure some crazy loafers on.
yeah. I don't know what those are, but they look good. They
Yeah.
look good.
So
That's what
I try to put, go into our era. 19, that puts us at what, 2007? And
You would have
I'm
had
pretty sure
the baggy
the
suit,
baggy suits was
looking
still
like
in.
LeBron.
And now, fast forward, that looks crazy. That looks absolutely crazy. And I'm sure 20 years from now, they're gonna look back and be like, I look crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they all right.
It's probably
Fashion.
gonna look cool to look homeless in 20 years.
And I'm interested to see what's cool in 20 years because fashion has completely changed from when we were coming out of high school. It was the baggy era, and now I can't see myself going back though. I really can't. I take it back. I take it back with the sweats. We've already kind of started with the essentials. With the essentials, a little baggy, but I promise you, I can't really see myself going back
You
to the
know,
baggy suits. Nah.
Brooke loves to get her something oversized.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
good telltale sign which way fashion is going. I'm just saying.
I understand everything um, comes back into play. You know, fashion, everything comes back, but I just can't see them, especially like the dress clothes and the dress shirts and things of that nature. I definitely can't see the baggy coming
So
back.
so let
Not
so
for
let,
myself. Not for myself.
so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What would you rate the draft class last night as far as the outfits go?
Again, hey, I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm 34 at the moment, so of course I'm gonna give kudos to kind of the classic looks. You know, just a nice tailored. You know, I'm not tripping on the loud color or the solids, but nice tailored suit. Um, that's typically my thing, not the the crazy patterns. That's not for me. So, but hey, it's their night. You know what I mean? It was a great night. So I started off, you know, turned it on. I was, obviously on Twitter, checking it out on Twitter, and I had to log off, man. That's not for me.
Why is that? Why'd you have to log off,
You
Ryan?
know, you got your Wojs and your Shams, and man, it just feels like they ruining. Like I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a production, and you're telling me the end while I'm watching it. And I'm like, so for those who don't know, Woj and Sham, they're insiders, and they get the info and release it on Twitter probably a solid at least 3 minutes before the pick has been announced on television. So, I get maybe you want to see the live reaction of the person getting drafted, so you watch both. But I'm kind of like, I don't know, it just takes a little bit of the excitement out for me, at least in the beginning, in the lottery. I can do it
Well,
later. I can do it later.
two things. Two things.
Okay,
First question, serious question.
sure.
No, serious statement, actually.
Okay.
When you follow Woj on Twitter, he never says that the Dallas Mavericks are about to draft Jaden Hardy. He says the Mavericks made a trade and they're focused on Jaden Hardy. That's not telling you who he's drafting. That's just telling you who's at the top of that board. Something could change between that point and putting the draft pick in, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So technically they're not
Sure.
breaking the news.
They are though. Cause if you've seen Woj enough for the past decade, you know them. They got them. I locked in on it. Happens. It happens. And so it is what it is at this point. And hey, man, again, once it gets past the lottery, I start following on Twitter and watching both. But I feel like the lottery is kind of like I want the suspense. Top 10, top 14. I want to see if something shake, whatever. I want to be kind of surprised. And Woj, I get it. You're doing this job.
Why do you watch the spoilers before you watch the movie?
I don't watch spoilers before I watch the movie.
So get off Twitter
I did.
before the draft.
Well, I was just minding my business on just my typical timeline, and
But
then
you
I'm
know
like,
what time it is.
and then
Your
Woj
no,
like, oh,
your notifications are probably turned on.
yeah, Woj is a beast though. I didn't follow Sham. And I realized that he's right there with Woj apparently with the insider information. But it still was a great night. So you watched the Twitter while you watched
I
the
watched
actual live feed.
I watched the Twitter. I did not watch the draft.
Okay, bet. So with the draft, as Dallas Mavericks fans, we came in with no picks of this draft. We had traded our first round pick, 26 overall, to the Houston Rockets for Christian Wood. Very happy.
Nico!
We've already shown our support and excitement about that decision and that transaction. But we spoke early before the draft, and I was like, hey, man, I still watch for it. Excitement just as a fan, and you never know. You never know. And Nico strikes again.
I told you during that conversation that I had a
Mm-hmm.
feeling that Nico was going to trade back into the second round.
And that's exactly what Nico did. And with the 37th pick overall, the Dallas Mavericks select Jaden Hardy of the G League Ignite. Tell me
Yes,
your
sir.
first reaction when you heard the news.
Excited.
Yeah.
excited. I
Yeah.
absolutely love Jaden Hardy. Excuse me. I absolutely love Jaden Hardy. I'm telling you, I was looking, he was a first of all, as a junior in high school in
Uh-huh.
Nevada,
Yeah.
it was Gatorade Player of the Year. He
Yep.
averaged 30 points a game, Ryan.
Yeah.
30
Going
points
off.
a game
Yeah. 9 and 8.
as a 17-year-old. Okay?
That was his junior year.
Junior year. Junior
Senior
year.
year, got hit with COVID.
Yeah,
I think the season was kind of lost. So that was his junior year.
it was. So now you got a guy, he was ranked number 2 overall,
Yep.
right? High school class, right behind Chet Holmgren, actually above Paolo Blancherio, but above Jalen Duran, above all of these players that's going in the top of the draft.
Yeah.
He decides to go to the G League Ignite, as you stated.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 19 points in the G League. Am I right? 17? 17 to 19?
17.
17 points a game.
Yep.
If he had averaged 17 points a game for the University of Texas last year, would he really be a second round pick?
I don't know. I get where you're going with that, especially I see those guys out of Kentucky, man. You don't even have to show your whole game, and you're gonna go lottery. So, I don't know. That's a good question. So to backtrack real quick, I actually had to look up the what this G League Ignite specifically that team is, because I've seen a lot of prospects come from that team. And so the G League, for those, to give backstory for those who don't know about the G League, that's like the farm system of the NBA, right? If you want to develop your players, you send them to your G League team to develop, get some playing time if they're not in the rotation in the NBA, and just get them some experience. A lot of really good players in the league go to the G League and get some work in, and develop. But the Ignite is a special team because it's full of draft prospects who've made the decision that they don't want to go to college, and they don't want to go overseas, but they're still playing against pros and living kind of like the NBA lifestyle, right? That's your job. Like every day in and day out, that's your job. You still get a salary. And so it's full of draft prospects. So you've seen over the last couple of years, really some top picks, or throughout the first round, some picks come from that Ignite team. So that made me, kind of look into it. So your question is super valid. I think maybe in the long run. So I think in terms of getting drafted earlier, college may have been a better move for him if he would have done that. But in the long run, I think being in the Ignite and playing against pros could pay bigger dividends down the road, because he's proven himself to score 17, against pros. But, of course, first question, I'm like, okay, I've heard of the guy, super talented, score, 6'4", right at 200 pounds, wingspan. And I'm like, well, why did he drop to 37? And I saw the stats, impressive 17 points, but it was pretty inefficient. I think he shot 35%. I think they played 12 games in the Ignite season.
He shot
35
35%
from the field, and then shot 27% from three.
Okay.
Okay, so that is reason I can see why, hey, if someone wants to go with in their mind a safer bet, you know what I mean? But that's what the second round is for, in my opinion, is like, okay, he might not have, there's an adjustment period. You're talking about a person who didn't play a senior year in high school and went straight to playing against pros. There's an adjustment period, strength, speed of the game, pace of the game.
Just, the sample size of 12 games. So
Sure.
when you talk about 12 games against grown men, going from high school to grown men, I have to watch the tape, but it's probably an adjustment as far as even shot selection, right?
Sure.
Like some of the shots that he was taking literally 6 months prior.
Yeah.
Those aren't good shots now in the NBA or in the G League. So like you said, I think that it does benefit him in the future. But I'm just curious as to what GMs are looking at. Like, I don't believe that you have a talent this great, that's great enough to be ranked, unanimous number 2 in the high school class, to going in the second round just 1 year later when his peers are going in the top of that draft. Now, obviously, that's the decision that he made to go into the Ignite team, but I just don't understand what the scouts are looking at. But hey, they get paid to do it, and I don't. So
I actually wouldn't be surprised if scouts and organizations are scared of developmental players because they're not good at it. Their organization is not good at developing talent, maybe more raw, unrefined talent, and it hasn't panned out for them in the past. So then they go into the draft being like, we need the safer pick. You know what I mean?
Chet Holmgren is safe.
No, I'm not saying OKC.
No.
Again,
I'm not debating you per se.
yeah,
I'm just saying is Chet Holmgren. I mean, I think me personally watching him play, he doesn't wow
right.
me. Right.
But look who drafted him. OKC, who has a good track record of development of developing talent.
They have a good track record of drafting good players.
They still have to develop them though.
I mean,
right. You still have to develop them.
After you go on the KD, Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka like run that they went on, who have they drafted and developed since then?
Reggie Jackson, you had him solid. They've got a long list of really.
He was a good player. He didn't even play for them long.
Right, but you still got to give them credit.
You saying they have an eye for
talent, and then put them in a position to succeed, and then put them to the position to succeed. It's not a coincidence that a lot of those players get drafted and go to them and become really good players.
Josh Giddey is a good player though.
You've seen plenty of organizations draft talented people, and they just don't do that. Look at Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins going to the Warriors. I know they got a talent full of roster, but it's still some development. They clearly put him into positions to succeed for him to kind of sprout out the way he did. You know what I'm saying? He was a highly talented person. He ain't look like that in Minnesota.
He was on a max contract before he went there.
I mean, I'm just saying. Look, them dudes got track record.
You don't get a max contract. Look at DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I'm saying he can go somewhere else and look better. I'm just saying, like the Golden States, they clearly not developing. I don't know if Jordan Poole is Jordan Poole if he's not in Golden State. They know he played in their G League developmental team for a year or two, I think 2 years, and they clearly had a plan for him and put him in position to succeed. And I don't want to take that from him. So I think there's some organizations who are really bad at that, and which makes their draft tactics a little different. They draft a little safer. And I think, I think Hardy, I don't know when he'll be ready. You know what I mean? I think maybe he will spend a year in the G League or whatnot again. But I think they have a plan for him. Dallas knows how to develop players. So I am confident in that. I'm not sure if he'll be, an impact player this year. We'll see. Because specifically, you're going to have to defend. You're going to have to compete defensively, show us that to get on the floor with Jason Kidd.
Well,
but yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think that Jaden Hardy, I think the Mavericks have a plan for him. I mean, I agree. They gave up 2 second rounders for him.
Yeah, I agree. Right? I do think they have a plan for him.
So they saw his talent and they said, "All right, we got to snatch him." Now, the unique thing about Jaden Hardy's situation is that the Mavericks can only offer him, as it stands right now, a 2-year contract. They can possibly get a 3rd year by using the mid-level exception that we have of $6.3 million and rolling it into his salary.
Sure.
And give him a 3rd year. But even if we do that, we won't be able to give him a 4-year contract. And a 4-year contract is what protects you and gives you the ability to pay more than any other team, because what it does is it gives you the bird rights. So in the exact same situation as Jalen Smith, who was Jalen Brunson, who was drafted in the 2nd round.
Right.
We had him for 4 years because we were able to give him a full 4-year contract. So right now, this offseason, as he is an unrestricted free agent, the Mavericks still own his bird rights, and we still have the ability to pay him more than any other competitive team will be able to.
Mm-hmm.
With Jaden Hardy, we won't have that luxury because we won't be able to have him for 4 years. So with that being said, and it hasn't been announced at this point yet, if they're going to turn that mid-level exception into a 3rd year for Jaden Hardy, as it stands today, the Mavericks only going to be able to offer him 2 years contract, which means he will be an unrestricted free agent after 2 years. Now, I don't believe that the Mavericks give up that kind of draft capital to come and get him if they didn't have a plan for him to at least come in immediately and try to make an immediate impact. I don't see the Mavericks having 2 years with this guy and sending him to the G League for 1 year, bringing him up for the second year, almost on a prove it deal. Because if he does well, it'll be just like Gilbert Arenas, and he'll be gone somewhere else, making top dollar, and you
Yeah.
drafted and developed him.
I hope maybe he can come in and be a rotational player off the rip. But again, I'm not banking on it. You're talking about a guy clearly in the second round because he does need some refinement a little bit and get some experience. So, I don't want to rush the process. I don't know what they're going to do with the whole, after 2 years, what they decide to do. Obviously, I think they have long-term plans with him, but in terms of, like you're saying, the 2 years versus the 4 type deal. But, man, for one, it was just exciting to jump into the draft and be, a part of it.
Fact.
First and foremost, when I saw that across the at that time, I was watching Twitter for sure. And then we jumped in the group chat, and Monty was like, y'all got Hardy. So I started looking into it, and I was just like, yo,
shout out to Monty because he was on it.
Shout out to Monty.
I mean,
that's a big Wizards fan right there.
At the exact same time that I was reading the tweet, he was posting it in the group text.
I think he's a little
and
jealous.
It had to be like midnight y'all time.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's a little. I don't know if I think he likes this GM better than the last one, but I think he would like to.
He liked
like
the GM.
GM.
He likes the GM that
the
traded for
GM.
The one that traded for Kristaps Porzingis.
I think he just likes him better than the last one.
No, I'm just saying it. Just he likes the GM.
I think he likes him better than the last one. He probably like that's just spinning wheels.
When he watches this, I want him to know that that's that's not good. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, but yeah, it was an awesome night to see us get active, jump in there, make some more noise. I'm super excited with free agency right around the corner to see what additional moves we do.
Wait. I got a question for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think with all of the moves that the New York Knicks made yesterday,
sure,
clearing cap space allegedly to make a big run at Jalen Brunson, do you believe that the Mavericks are a little nervous that they may lose Jalen Brunson and Jaden Hardy was an insurance policy?
I don't know about Jalen Hardy. I really don't know. So the first question about losing Jalen Brunson, yeah, for sure. We talked about that last episode about his dad being over there. That's a real thing. I don't know if
25 million is too. 25 million in an opportunity to be your team,
to be the man. And I don't know if Hardy was drafted specifically for him, but hey, it makes sense if if it just kind of goes together that would be kind of our replacement to fill that role of an off ball kind of guy who can create their own shot, score mentality. But I saw a quote today from his dad again. I don't know when he said it, but he said something along the lines of like, at the end of the day, like everyone kind of wants what Luka has, and that mean being like the man. And he was like, that doesn't mean basically like all money ain't good money. He basically was saying that. No, he said the grass ain't always green on the other side. That's what he said.
Okay,
but he was like,
Jalen Brunson
stands. Yeah, he's not Luka, but he's still everybody be wanting their own team.
And I like Jalen, and I say it to his dad's face. Come on now.
Hey,
you think that Jalen is even on the? Do you come on?
Hey, what happens is when you the Robin second fiddle and you show that you can, get busy. You know what I'm saying? You show you get busy, and that person's mind and those close to him around, they definitely think he could go be the man somewhere else for sure.
I love Jalen Brunson.
If Jalen Brunson was your brother, I'm
not gonna say nothing negative about Jalen.
And you watch them go crazy like that. The love in your heart would be like, bro, would be if man somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
If Jalen Brunson wanted to leave and he wanted to go to a team,
I'm not gonna be mad, man. 30, 25 plus.
I'm not gonna be. I'm not that kind of guy anyway to just be mad at another man for making the best decision for him and his family. Like, why? How can I be mad at that? I'd rather him re-sign with the Mavericks.
So do I.
But if he's gonna go, why go to the Knicks, man? They don't even have nothing to help us get a sign and trade. We can't even help you get more money going to the Knicks. What
He
we
don't
gonna
care
get?
about that.
Oh no,
He
yeah,
look.
he
He
do.
probably looking like
Yeah, he
he
do.
probably looking at.
Because if they can do a sign and trade for him, he can get the max $30 million from the Mavericks. He can get $30 million from the Mavericks, and then we sign and trade him, and now he making $30 million in New York instead of the 25 that they offer. He'd rather sign with the Mavericks because the Mavericks can give him the most that he can.
Oh, sure. I was
So a
just thinking
sign and
about
trade,
being the man.
a sign and trade for in Jaden Brunson situation would be beneficial to him as well as the Mavericks.
Hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope we can keep him. He's a really, really good player. And
I want him
the
to stay
25
now.
actually don't scare me because I'm like, man, the Warriors got damn near 6 people making 25 million a year. So like,
The 25 don't scare me either.
yeah,
I want him to resign. Like,
yeah,
because I understand that the Mavericks options are limited, right? Maybe you get off Spencer Dinwiddie or Tim Hardaway and or Davis Bertans. Maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. And bring something back. Um, but more than likely it's the what the real things that we can do is re-sign Jalen Brunson. And then if he doesn't
I
re-sign
look
with us,
forward to it.
you're losing 17 points.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And I look forward to it, man. I hope we can get that done. I think that'll be the obviously first course of action when free agency starts because I think it's gonna happen quick. It's gonna happen quick. Either way it goes. So hopefully we can get that signed up and see what we can do. What those guys can figure out. Mark Cuban and Nico filling out the rest of the roster and see where we go from there.
Nico!
Nico.
Hey, Jaden
Um,
Hardy gonna be a stud.
hey, I hope so, man. I have faith in our development. Kind of an organization, developing players. So we'll see. We'll see what that timeline looks like, and I definitely look forward to it, man.
All right, so that's a wrap, man. So it
It's
was a
a
good
wrap.
discussion today, Ryan. Y'all
For
follow
sure.
us on Twitter, Sports Guy Dallas on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram, SportzAttic, SportzAttic. Also, like and subscribe on Instagram,
Yes.
SportzAttic,
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love.
SportzAttic. Thank you for all the likes, comments, and keep rocking with us. I appreciate
For
it.
sure.